Okay guys, we're going to look at calculating compound interest using the repeated simple interest method, as the heading here suggests. And we need to remember the simple interest formula, which is P times R times T. So throughout this problem, we need to remember what the simple interest formula is, which is SI stands for simple interest, P stands for principal, R stands for rate, remember, needs to be changed to a decimal, and time needs to be in years. So we're going to be using this formula repeatedly, that means over and over, to work out this investment problem, which has to do with compound interest. So the question is, $5,000 is invested at 6% PA. Remember, PA stands for per annum, and it's compounding annually. So annually means per year. So it's a compounding interest problem. It's not a simple interest problem. It's a compounding interest problem, but we are going to use the simple interest formula. Copy and complete the table to show how investment grows over the first 6 years. So I'm going to show you how to do the first 3 years, and then when I'm done, I want you to construct the table and then complete the 4th, 5th, 6th year. So first, let's identify what P, R, and T are in this problem. So remember, P is the principal. Principal is going to be is the principal of the investment, which is the amount that we invest, which in this case, in this question, it's $5,000. And I've highlighted that for you there. Next is R. So what's R? R is the rate, and in this question the rate is 6%. Highlighted it there for you, 6%. But let's change it to a decimal, because before we use this rate in percentage, before we use it in the simple interest formula, we need to change it to a decimal. So 6% is 6 divided by 100, which equals 0.06. So we're going to keep that in mind a little bit later. The next one is time, T. T for time, and time must be in years over here. So T equals how many years? Here it is, for 6 years. We're calculating the compound interest over 6 years. So let's write 6 years there. So let's begin. Let's begin completing this table looking at the very first year, right here. Okay, so the very first year, you've invested $5,000. So the principal in the first year is $5,000. The next column says interest earned during this year, or each year. So we're going to go over to the calculations column here, and we're going to use the simple interest formula, which is P times R times T, to work out the interest for the first year. So the time in this case will be 1 year. So 5,000, let's do that again, simple interest equals 5,000 times the rate. Remember, the rate in a decimal is 0.06, 0.06, and the time is 1, because we're calculating the simple interest for just 1 year. And now we can get our calculator and work that out. And we earned $300 in the very first year of this investment. So let's write $300 here. Great. So we started off with $5,000. We put $5,000 into our bank account. It earns interest at 6% per annum. And in the first year we earned, or it accrued $300. So that $300 is going to be added into our bank account. So the principal at the start of the second year just highlight that for you, is going to be the $5,000 that we started with in our bank account plus the interest of the first year, which we can do that. We can do that in our head, which is $5,300. So we now have a new principal to work with. So let's repeat the simple interest formula method and work out the simple interest for year 2. So simple interest, again, I'm going to use our calculation column here. Simple interest equals P times R times T. Principal times rate times time. Simple interest equals, this time the principal is the principal at the beginning of year 2, which is, that's right, $5,300. Times the rate hasn't changed, still 0.06, and we're calculating just for 1 year. So the time is 1. So simple interest, in this case, we can get out our calculator now and we can work out that it comes out to $318. Let's put $318 into the right column here. So after the second year, we started that second year at $5,300. Over that year, our investment earned $318. So at the beginning of the third year, let's highlight that again. So we're up to the third year. The beginning of the third year is $5,300 plus the interest from year 2, which is 318, which we can put that in our calculator and it comes out to 5,618. Now we use our simple interest formula again to work out the simple interest for year 3. Simple interest equals P times R times T. So in the third year, the principal is, that's right, 5,618 times the rate, and the rate hasn't changed, it's still 0.06 times, and we're calculating the interest over 1 year. So simple interest for the third year equals, we can put that into our calculator, and it comes out to $337.08. Now when you calculate this, you need to round to the nearest cent, which is 2 decimal places. So we put the simple interest for year 3 in our column, and we're ready to move over to year 4. So at the beginning of year 3, we had $5,618 in our bank account, or our investment. Over the course of that year, we earned $337.08 in interest. So at the beginning of the 4th year, let's highlight that, we need to add those together because we have a new balance in our bank account or our investment. So 5,618 plus 337 and 8 cents. And that comes to $5,955.08. So what I'd like you to go on from now is to calculate the interest for year 4 and the 5th year and the 6th year, and calculate the totals. This total would be the total amount of the principal at the end of 6 years, and this would be the total amount of interest over 6 years, which happens to be question A and B. What is the value of the investment at the end of the 6th year? That would be this total here. And how much interest has been earned in the 6 years? That would be this total here.